You're listening to the DX3 podcast, Death, Divorce, and Dating. It's Kat
and Michelle,
and we would just like to give you a heads up that this is maybe not a show for your children to listen to. Why, you ask? Why, you ask? Because,
well, we might say
asshole,
fuck you. It happens,
bitch. We can't say for sure. It's not always going to be that way, but it could be, so that's your warning. Welcome to the show.
Cheers.
Cheers, motherfucker. All right, welcome to our podcast. This is our third one. It's Kat.
And it's Michelle.
This is Death, Divorce, and Dating. And if you are tuning in for the very first time, of course, you can go to our YouTube page and revisit the other episodes to really get our backstory, because we're not always going to go back to that, really. There's so many things for us to talk about, but there's a reason why we've tackled this podcast, and if you listen, you will understand why. This week, we are dealing with dating.
Dun, dun, dun.
Currently, Michelle is engaged, so she is in a beautiful relationship. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm dating as well. No. I'm not. I'm just kidding.
I am currently single, not dating, but always trying. And
always trying. She's lying. She's at the clubs every weekend.
No, that's the thing. And this is what we really need to talk about. Okay, so I'm 48 and I live in a small town. There isn't really a place to go for older.
Well, there's the Home Hardware and the Home Depot and the Rona.
Yeah, we're in Canada.
And the Canadian Tire. I don't know what happened there.
Canadian Tire?
Canadian, or I was trying to put a little twang to it.
Okay.
Didn't work.
Yeah, so it's not easy really to meet people. I think this is something that we'll talk a lot about because, of course, there's online dating, and we definitely will get into that. Michelle has had success. I have not yet, but I have to say, I don't really love it in the first place.
She's not giving these guys a fair chance. Let me just put that out there right now. She has had some quality men, and I just think she has to stop being so picky and just go and follow her heart.
Okay.
And be open to the possibilities.
My heart and head were having me running, screaming away from my computer. Here's the thing, guys. If you are 80, don't say you're 49.
I don't see the problem with that.
Don't even understand.
Age is just a number.
Guys really need to work, and I can't speak for women because I haven't been on a site to see how women are putting their profiles out. I know what I did.
If you want to become a lesbian, you could.
Sure.
Yes.
But I don't know how women are presenting themselves, but maybe it's just different because, girls, they get, they put on their makeup, they do their hair, they do the selfies all the time.
And we've got the filter apps now.
Right. So maybe, but remember that one guy with the filter on his? He tried to blur out his laugh lines, his crow's feet.
Yes.
And he ended up making his whole face look deformed.
His ear.
In his profile picture.
His ear was actually almost like to the right, like it went really right of the screen. Like it was like a smear of ear.
How can he look at that picture and say, okay, I'm going to post that one?
Well, he just looked at his face and thought, fuck it, I got no lines. I'm looking good.
He was scary.
He was amazing.
I think I had nightmares.
I totally thought she should have went for him.
So my little tip for gentlemen out there that are really trying to give this a go, and I get it. I just didn't really feel it for myself, but I just have to say, and this is completely constructive criticism for the guys out there, you really need to, how do I put this nicely? You really need to pay more attention to what your profile pictures are.
And I'll say this too, because I have, single guy friends, and women do the same shit. And I'm not going to lie, I've done a little filter schmilter on me as well.
Okay, but your face doesn't look deformed doing filter.
No, like my nose isn't on the top of my fucking head or anything like that. But no, for sure. I think we all do it. We live in an age where everything's on social media. People are putting themselves out there, and everybody wants to look their best. And some people's best may be smeared skin and orange tan filter. I don't know if that makes you feel good about yourself. That's great. But yeah, men and women are both doing it, and it's just getting ridiculous. Let's just put it that way.
And here's the thing, guys, use filters, do whatever you want, but don't look deformed doing it. And I say that to women too. If you're making yourself, here's the thing, don't sell a false bill of goods. Is that making me sound old with that?
No, not at all.
Don't make yourself look like you're not.
But why filter your dating profile? Because at the end of the day, when you go meet that person at the bar or wherever the hell, the Home Hardware or the Canadian Tire, what was it? The Canadian
Tire.
Yeah, whatever the hell I called it. Like, they're going to see you. Like, here's a good story. So I have a friend of mine I grew up with, and she's same age as me, 25. And
lies. She's fucking lying.
41 this Saturday. Yep. So anyway,
birthday.
Thank you very much. However, she was on dating, and she was like, at this point, she was over 35, and she was chatting with this guy. And I remember her showing me the picture of this guy. I'm like, wow, he's like really attractive. And she's a very attractive girl too. So I'm like, okay, yeah, like I could see this is like, yep, he's attracted to you. You're attracted to him. You know, you could kind of see like they were maybe physically a fit, if that makes sense. So anyway, they had been talking for a couple of weeks. So finally was like the day of the meeting. They're going to Milestones or some type of restaurant, and they're going to meet at the bar and then have a little chit chat, have a little drinky poo, and then they're going to have dinner. She's at the bar. She's a gorgeous girl. She's all like, you know, probably got her weave on and her fake lashes on and her lips are all done and she's ready to go. A guy appears, looks nothing. He was not the same age. He was not the same weight. He was not the same skin color. Completely different. He was probably 30 years older. Walks up to her and says, hi, so-and-so. We'll call her Sally. So he says, hi, Sally. And she's like, hello, I'm Robert. And she's like, pardon me? He's like, I didn't think that a girl as beautiful as you would meet me. So I posted those photos so that I could get you to come out, and bada boom, bada bang. But what this idiot fucktard didn't think of is like, what did you think she was going to think meeting you face to face in the restaurant? A, you lied. B, if you didn't think she'd go for you based on your real authentic photos, why the fuck do you think she'd go for you? Right? So it's just people do these crazy, absolutely crazy things. So basically she just got up and left. She goes, you know what? No offense. I'm not judging you by any means, but you lied to me. This is like super fucking freaky. And she left. So anyway, you just have to take these crazy precautions. And I feel that, you know, I haven't been doing the online dating thing for a while now, of course, but it's really changing and evolving, and it's getting a lot freakier, I find.
Great. That's so good to know. Great. Okay.
However, you have me on your side because I do have more experience than you, because I did do a lot more. Well, yeah, of course, because you were married. So I did it a lot more than you. And
yeah, I just did a little bit.
Yeah. So while she was married. No, she didn't. She was a very faithful wife. So yeah, so you should allow me to be your coach, because people charge a lot of money for this. You see it in LA all the time. There's no reason why you should not be taking my, you know, consultation services. I'm doing it free of charge. You should be thankful.
This is what she would tell me, okay, when I was on the dating site. Just do it. Just go for it. Okay, yeah, no, just go out with them. Just give them a chance.
Yeah.
Well, I just wasn't feeling it.
So try a guy with a toupee. It might not be a...
Well, listen, back to the whole profile thing. I know women do the same as men. I get it. You know, they filter, they do all that stuff. Whatever. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it a bit, right?
No,
I mean, it's
sure.
Okay.
We all want to look pretty.
A little zhuzh is what I call it. But don't do a full-on, like, you know, move your cheekbones, make your eyes larger.
Do face swap with Jennifer Lopez.
You know, like, just, there's no point. There's no point in doing that. Be as authentic and as truthful as you can be. Also, gentlemen, we don't really need to see pictures of you shirtless. It's just, it doesn't really need to happen. And all those selfies with you standing in the mirror.
Oh, yes.
I can't even see your face sometimes.
Crop the toilets out. Just crop the toilet out, people.
Let's really just think this through, you know? It's a first impression.
Yes.
Really, guys. Girls, it's a first impression.
Think of it as an interview.
Yes. And a lot of you are failing miserably
Yes.
And it's constructive. That's all.
There was one guy, when I was online dating, there was one guy. Now, I was probably 150 pounds heavier than him. And I'm not I don't think I'm obese, but he was a very skinny boy. And this guy, I had to give him, I wasn't going to meet him, but I was going to give him a couple points because all his profile pictures, the dating profile had cutouts of Taylor Swift. So I know it sounds kind of funny, but he was funny. It was just the way he did it. But I thought, what a perfect guy for a Kat to have. If I could find him now.
Oh, whatever. Good Lord. This is what concerns me about Michelle wanting to give me dating tips.
I just feel like she needs to throw herself out into the sea of men, the sea of semen.
If you could see my face right now, you could see it.
I'm just give some of these guys a chance just to meet with a woman for these virgin men that are out there.
They're not. They're really not. Yeah, I like the ones that message you and say, so are you looking for something serious or just to have a little fun?
I like it when they just go right to cock shot. Cock shot.
I didn't get any of those.
Oh, well, because you didn't give them a chance. Give these guys your number and give them a chance.
No. Really? This is what's so weird because I love the old way, the way of just meeting someone through friends or
arranged marriages. Father, have you found me my man?
I might have done better if that had happened, but no, I just miss that. I think that's such a cool way to you're vibing, you can I don't know. I just think that it's difficult. It makes it a lot harder. I know it does give you greater access. I absolutely understand 100%. That part of it, but I just miss the old way.
No, for sure. And I agree too. I mean, for sure. Well, it's just not happening. So you're going to just have to go online and we're just going to have to share the experience of your dating adventures, and I'm gonna just sit back.
I'm still recovering from the last,
and I'm gonna fucking enjoy this ride so good. It's actually amazing.
I can't even let her have my phone when I have been on the app because she'll start messaging guys bananas.
It's I don't see a problem with it. I tell her she's too fucking conservative. She's just so oh, don't message him, don't message that. I just go on.
This scares me.
Oh, fuck it. You know what? Who cares? I'm just go to bed, let your fucking ring or your phone just ring a ding all night, and who cares?
Oh my God.
It's all about you just have to take chances. Everything's about numbers. You just got to throw it out there to the guys, blonde hair, red hair, black hair, one arm, two arms, who cares? Just give yourself some fucking options and let's just see what rolls in. You know what?
I thought it was an interesting process, filling out everything, and I did put my age range, where I was interested in, and I
18 to 25.
No. That is not the age range. Thank you very much. But it didn't seem to matter. I was getting much older.
And much younger.
And much younger, yes.
They like the cougars. Yeah.
It was an interesting process. I'm not ready to do it again. I will let you know. And I certainly have to be ready if I'm doing it with you.
I'm just going to fucking make a profile because I have photos of her from the last 50 years. So there's one on her desk right now when she interviewed Ricky Martin back in the 90s. That's actually good.
That's a good one.
So
see, that's me at 26, 27.
You kind of look the same though.
Oh,
and so does he. You guys would have made cute babies. You just don't have the parts he wants, but
I thought maybe I did at the time. But
she did actually. Corey Hart had a huge crush on her. That was actually really sexy.
Yeah, blew that one too. But anyway, that's a story for another day. That's a story for another day. I will maybe try it again.
Corey Hart?
No.
Oh. Corey, if you're listening,
yeah,
she still loves you.
What can I say?
Well, I just think we should talk about some of the experiences that you had.
No.
More in depth because there were some really good dating experiences. I feel like yours were a lot more intense than mine because when I was online dating, it was sort of just becoming popular. Mm-hmm. So I found guys were a little bit more respectful. Mm-hmm. But I'm definitely the type of person, if you know me and Kat knows too, I'm not like a giddy yes girl. So maybe it was like that, but guys just didn't try shit with me because they knew I'd fuck them up. So, you know.
So what does it say about me?
Well,
I'm a giddy yes girl.
No, she's not a giddy Yes, girl. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that maybe because I was just young and I didn't give a shit, and I was just kind of like, I didn't care if I had a boyfriend back then because I was younger. I didn't give a shit. But I think as we get a little bit older, of course, we want to find that connection, and we want to find someone that may potentially be our life partner. So,
well, that's the interesting thing for me right now, because my second marriage, I didn't anticipate that ending when it did, right? I wasn't in a place, were we having issues? Should it have been better? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, he met someone else, he's gone on his way. I'm 48 and I don't really want to date a ton of people. It's just kind of not where I am, because everyone's like, oh, take a break. You don't want to have a rebound, but it's like, take a break. Like, I didn't want to break in the first place. Like, I don't want to be a serial dater into my 50s. It's just not something that I want to do. I'm not going to just accept anything, but I think at different stages of your life, they really are different stages.
No, 100%. And I think that as well, when people say, everyone always says that to you. Like, even after my late husband passed away, everyone's like, take time. Different situation, of course.
Sure.
However, I ended up meeting someone a lot sooner than I thought I would. And it's worked out so far, unless he leaves my fucking ass for another girl. Who knows? We don't know what's going to happen, right?
Know with things.
Never say never. So,
right.
What a great way to go into a marriage, right? I'm like, never say never. But no, it's true. Like, none of us can predict the future.
Not at all.
And no, in your situation, I totally get it, because I have like a handful of friends, which that are going through the same thing. It was, they were either cheated on, and it was either a physical or an emotional. It's just so insane how many stories that I've been getting, even after we, sort of went live with this podcast, and even after I lost my late husband. Everyone just sort of started confiding in me about all their issues, because my relationship ended in a death. These people that were going through divorces or separations would say, wow, like, I really look up to you for your strength, and I want to talk to you about my situation, but I don't feel like it's as bad. But I disagree. And other widows might think I'm fucking nuts, but I don't think that losing someone in death, or suffering a loss in a marriage, to me, a loss is a loss. Mm-hmm. And so with me, it was like, I went through all this therapy, and with my friends and my family, and we all really stuck together, and we got through this loss. And it's, if he was still here today, I'd be happily married, everything would be good. Maybe he would have cheated on me. I don't know. We don't know.
Well, no, that's the thing. You never know. You don't know. But you do go into it with the best of intentions, obviously.
Of course.
You don't go into it thinking, oh, well, I wonder when this is going to end. We don't do that. But we do handle things differently in different decades. Being single in your 20s is far different than being single in your 40s. I just believe it is.
Oh, 100%.
And especially when you have children. You factor those in. There's so many different things going on, and you just have a different value system. You want different things as you get older. You become, I think, hopefully, we become better versions of ourselves as we get older and know really what we want, or at least we hope to.
No, absolutely.
I definitely have confidence now that I never had in my 20s. So who I look for and appreciate in a partner is probably different.
Absolutely. No, I agree 100%. Unless you want to be like 50 years old and partying on yachts with P. Diddy in Ibiza, that's fine. And hey,
could I do that?
Shit,
if
fuck,
I
why
had
not?
That option,
Why not?
I'd go for a few years. But
listen, you're our golden goose. I've already locked down and committed to a fucking marriage, and now I'm going to be a stepmom to an 8-year-old. So guess what? Well, yeah, you got your kids, but
I have my kids.
You could ship them off to boarding school and just go fucking party, and then I'll just live through you. That'll be great.
I'm the golden goose.
The golden egg, the golden goose.
But on the flip side of all of it, yes, it's difficult doing the dating thing. Once you're out of a relationship, you have kids, all that. But it also is quite exciting. It is fun having your freedom again and being comfortable in who you are, because I can stay home on a Friday night. I don't need to be doing anything.
No, exactly.
I can have a bottle of wine. I was going to say a glass, but I'm like, no.
A case.
Have a bottle. Have a bottle of wine on a Friday and just be totally chill and happy. Yeah, do I want to hang out with friends? Do I want to do this? I can do whatever I want.
100%. And I think the nice thing too is when you kind of have that clean slate, is you now are like, okay, in your case, you've had one marriage, you've learned from that. Now the second marriage, you've learned from that. So now I'm like, third time's a charm. Now it's like you can take your time or not take your time, but I feel like you will be able to pinpoint exactly what it is you want.
Yes.
Right?
I agree.
And even with me, like after the loss of my late husband, a lot of my friends, especially my friends, my family was very just sort of standing back and saying, okay, like they just kind of let me do what I needed to do. My friends, on the other hand, they were really watching sort of every move and wanted to make sure that I ended up with a great person. And I even think I could have ended up with Brad Pitt. It probably still would have been an issue because they were used to my life with my late husband.
Right.
I did meet a great guy. We're very opposite, but in a very good way. We have a great relationship. I'm more of the party, the high strung, the crazy one. He's more laid back, very comfortable in his own skin. And, he's very simple, where I'm more of a diva.
He's a lot of fun. Too.
100%.
Yeah,
so when it's just him and I behind closed doors, he's my best friend. Because he has a son and we do have 50-50 custody of him. There are times where there's events. There's one coming up in a couple weeks he can't go to because he has his son, and he is not going to look for a sitter or go out of his way to get rid of his son to go to a party because he only has his son half the time. So I knew that going into the relationship, where I think in the beginning of the relationship, some of my friends were like, wow, like, are you cool with that? Like, you're doing this alone or blah, blah, blah.
Who cares? Everybody's different about that.
100%.
Sure. Everyone has different ways of how they want to spend their time and do that kind of thing. So, it just has to be respected. And as long as you get it and you're good with
100%.
That's all that matters.
And that's the thing. And I think people thought that maybe I think people had maybe like a misconception before they met him. They thought maybe he was going to hold me back.
Right.
And he doesn't at all. He's like, listen, like if I'm free, I will come. But if he doesn't want to come, he doesn't have to come.
But I think what people don't understand about you is that people that, that are good friends to you, but were used to you participating in a different way before.
Right.
And I don't think that they understand fully, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm just putting it out there, that you've changed.
100%.
You want to do things differently.
100%.
He's not making you do these things differently.
No.
You're choosing to do things differently. And I think maybe that's where some of your friends aren't necessarily making that connection.
Right. And I think it was just that, like, now everything's cool. But I think in the beginning it was tough because, they were going through their own thing with the loss of my ex because they were friends with him. And the dynamic has changed because my life is very, I won't say complex, but I think people sometimes forget what I juggle. And what I juggle is this. I have my family. I have my late husband's family. I have my new fiance's family. I have my friends and I have his friends. So this is like 5 groups of people. Now, I'm just talking about my immediate friends. I'm not talking about, more distant acquaintance friends. Like, I have a large circle of friends. I went to 3 elementary schools. I went to a high school. I went to a college, and I went to a university. So did my friends.
All your jobs and everything.
Over the years.
Very social person. So yeah, you do have a lot.
I have a large circle, which I will say over the years I have made sort of smaller and smaller and smaller. I needed to, and you just do as you age.
Sure.
And where my fiance, he was the same. He had a large circle, when he was with his ex, before he had his kid, and then things changed after the kid, and then things that changed after the breakup. And you can probably relate to this too. You lose friends, circles grow a little bit smaller.
Sure.
And he's sort of come to the point in his life, we're 7 years apart. He's 7 years older, and he's just sort of like, you know what? Like, I just need this handful of people in my life and my family. Like, and that for him is happiness, and he's content. Where I think some of the people in my life are, they need or they want, a big gaggle of people in their life, right? Where he's just very different. And I used to be the same way. I felt like I always needed to have all these people in my life. And I still do, more than my partner, but it's definitely shrunk. And I'm content with that. And, for example, it was my soon-to-be stepson's, it was his birthday this weekend. And you know what? We did the paintball thing. We took him over to the falls. And you know what? I had a blast. And so I'm turning 41 this week. So it's like, I don't necessarily want to be at a bar every weekend. I don't necessarily, like, we're way over that now.
It's not just that. Like, the thing about going out, like, just the things you do socially, they change over time. Because would I still like to go out to a bar for a drink? Sure. But I live in a town where it's a university town. So it is crawling with drunk 20-year-olds. And, you know, hey, power to you guys, because I did the same thing when I was 20. But it's unfortunate that there aren't sort of more mature places
we just have to go further out. Like, we just have to go further out.
You got to do different things.
But that's what I like now, because we've now picked up and moved our life. Like, we're in the country now. For me to go, and most of my friends, you know, I've got you here, which you're only about 20 minutes away, which is great. But then the rest of my friends are all in Toronto or east of the city. Mm-hmm. But the great thing is when I do see them, it's like an overnight affair. Right. So it actually makes my time with them that much more special, because it's like a sleepover, drink, dance, party. Like, it's fun. And then we also have our cottages out in Muskoka. So we're all doing that. So it's like summertime. It's like I'm seeing everyone all the time. And it's funny because when you go through these changes, whether it's a loss or if it's a divorce loss, however, whatever loss it is in your life is going to change. You're going to change as a person. But sometimes the people in your life don't understand it, or they don't. I think, and I'm not just saying this about like people in my life, I think it's everybody, anyone who has a friend or a family member that goes through something and then all of a sudden their life changes. You're not living up to, they're not necessarily losing a piece of you. Like, I used to be like easy access Michelle. Mm-hmm. Anything that happened, I was there, always there. And you know what? My late husband was a lot of the times, you know, he was tired. He didn't want to do all the things we did, but he was more of a yes guy, because he wanted to please me. He wanted to please our friends. Where my partner I'm with now, he is very comfortable in his own skin. He has very healthy boundaries. And if he doesn't want to do anything, he ain't doing it. Yeah. But he's like, power to you, girl. You want to go? Go. Like, I've got a formal event in the next couple weeks. He has his son. His son's going to be gone for a week with the mom to Florida, and then the son is coming home. So he's like, I'm not asking anyone to watch my son. I'm like, and that is what I respect about him, is he puts his child first before going out for plans. So a girlfriend's coming with me, I don't give a shit. I really don't care.
That's the important thing, because here's the thing. If you're in a relationship and you don't want to do the same things, different priorities at times, that's totally fine. What bothers me is when someone in the relationship holds back the other.
100%.
And said, you know what, I can't make it that weekend, and I don't want you to go either. No. I want you to stay with me and my son that night, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I don't like.
That's fucked up.
I've always been able to go out and do my thing, because I think it's healthy to do separate things. That's something that I've always maintained.
Well, when you live together, especially.
Like, dude, have a hobby. Like, go out and do something. Like my last husband, he loves snowmobiling. I'd snowmobile a bit, but it's like, go. You know, he wants to go away for the weekend to do that. Yeah. I mean, it's things I don't understand when couples like really get on top of each other, you know? Like, I think you need to give some space. Yeah. But everyone's different. You know, if that works for you,
some
great.
people really love it, but no, and that's why we work, because I think in the beginning people looked at us and thought, wow, like, you're always going out and you're doing all these things, and he's more, you know, he's a very old soul. For him, he likes to take care of the home. The home is a priority. You know, for him, it's important to make our home a beautiful place, to have it in order, you know, to have it looking good inside and out. That's our home. That's our living space.
But he also loves to entertain.
100%.
So he will always, I'm always invited over to their house. You know what I mean? It's like, come over. So it doesn't have to be about going out.
No.
He's still social.
100%. You know, but he hates going to the city, but he will. If, you know, our friends had birthday parties this past year, for example, and a lot of the events were in the city. So the weekends that he was kid-free, he came. He'll participate. Does he love going to the city? No, he fucking hates it. He hates the traffic. He hates the hustle bustle, and, you know, just all the shit that happens in the city.
But it's compromising.
100%. And that's what he'll do it. He doesn't, but when he gets there, he has fun. However, he is the first person to say, like, you want to have our friends here, my friends here? He'll be the first person to, like, stock up the booze, cook. Yeah. He will do everything to make our friends and family feel like so welcome in our home. And I'm the same way too. We both love to cook. We both love to entertain. Yeah. So now that the house is like pretty much done, we're going to start doing that. And it's nice. We had a beautiful Christmas with our family and our friends popping by. And, you know, we're doing a little get gathering at the house this weekend for my birthday. And those are things he enjoys.
That's a prime example though of, you know, your birthday. Mm-hmm. You're having a get together at your house. You know, you're not going into the city to have some blowout or anything like that.
And you know what? No, last year was the 40th, which was like, I guess, a big birthday. We had a big girls' night. My girlfriends put on this fucking spectacular event, which I will never forget. And they were overly generous, and it was so beautiful. I don't need to do that every year.
No.
Whereas when we were younger, it was always like this big blowout at a club or this or that, and it's like I don't need to do that anymore. Like it's cool. Like when I'm 50. Let's fucking celebrate by me crying because I'll be devastated. No, I'm just kidding.
Really?
No, listen.
I'll be getting there
I have a friend who's over 50 who says life doesn't start till 50.
Interesting.
Yeah, and she's a cool fucking cat.
Well, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'm 48, so yeah, definitely for my 50th, I want to go away. We've been doing that with my other circle of girlfriends. For the 50th, we take a trip.
That's the smart thing to do.
Like a long weekend. So last year we did New York City. This year, 2 of my girlfriends are turning 50, so we're waiting to see where the location will be.
No, that's so smart.
So
in the last few summers, there's a little group of us. It started with 3 girlfriends of ours. Well, it was one girlfriend of mine. She was traveling with a couple of her friends from work, and that was sort of their thing. And then 2 years ago, me and 2 other friends got invited, and so now the 6 of us have been doing this annual girls trip in the summer. We did Nashville last year. We did Austin, and we do it just for about under a week and stuff. And it's such a great thing to look forward to, and it's a great group of girls. And you know, it's good to do those things. It's really good to do those things. But yeah, if you're out of a relationship at, you know, over 30, over 40, and you're looking to start your chapter now with someone new, you need to look for that person that obviously has all the good qualities you like, but you still got to be able to do you when you want. But yeah, you know what? Do I make it to every event with my friends now? Things have changed. No. And typically it's only a couple of events. Not much has changed. I don't feel like my life has changed too much. Okay, we moved to the country. So, but to me, it doesn't.
You're also a stepmom now. Like 100%. You do have some girlfriends that don't have children. And that is something that I do want to touch upon on another podcast.
Yeah.
But it's managing friendships, relationships with people that you've been friends with for a long time that, you know,
don't have children.
Don't have the same... just don't have the same things going. Right. So it's finding that balance, right?
Right.
And it could happen to meeting someone. Like, I could start dating a guy that doesn't have kids, you know?
100%.
So how is that dynamic going to work? So that's something that we need to delve into.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? One thing I will say, I think in the beginning, it threw off my friends a bit, which naturally, I don't think it was just that. I think it was just the new person. Because like I said, our group was really, really tight with my late husband, and it's a little different this time because, you know, with respect to my new partner, it's not very fair for me to say, hey, here was my life with my late husband. I need you to step inside and I need you to just continue on and be best buddies with A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Well, that's not right. My situation's a little different. And I think in the beginning, I think my friends did understand, but I think they found that maybe he was a little bit not distant, but just, you know, wasn't participating like...
It's very different.
Of course, because A, you have to put yourself in his shoes. These were my late husband's friends.
Right.
This was his crew.
Right.
B, he does have a son. And C...
He's older.
He's older. Yeah, well, some of the guys are the same age or older in the group.
Okay.
However, it's just, you can't... I always try to put myself in his shoes. And, you know, I've got my crew. I have my family and I have my crew of my best girls. And I always put myself in his shoes. What if it was his wife that died? Mm-hmm. I've got my life. I had my life. I would probably be the same way with him because I would want to just, you know, do my thing with my friends, my family, his family, and, you know, and I meet women through his buddies, girlfriends, so on and so forth, and their friends, and they're wonderful people, and we totally jive and we have fun when we're together, but it's not the same as my girls.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And don't get me wrong, he, like all the guys that are attached to the girls in my life, he loves. He thinks they're great. They come to our house. We see them at the events. We have a great time.
Yeah.
But I think that we just can't expect our new partners to just take on the roles of the exes in our life, because they can't.
No.
And
dramatically different situations. Again, like you said,
Yes.
like he met you with his life intact.
100%.
Nothing, you had a devastating loss that was just completely recentered you.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's coming from a very different
And
place.
he had been on his own. He had been on his own for a few years.
Yeah.
So he hadn't dated anyone seriously. I was sort of his first serious girlfriend after his breakup. He wasn't married to his ex, but they were together for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And they had a breakup, and then that was that. So the breakup was happening years before the breakup. So It was a very clean.
Right.
So there was no harsh feelings or no heartbreak for him to sort of overcome. It was already dead before it ended. Right. Where I was sort of, and even still to this day, like I'm still going to therapy and I'm still doing counseling, which I encourage for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's just, he's just very, I couldn't have asked for a better partner for my situation, who respects my life and respects the life I had before him and the people in it and the friends and the things I like. But of course, I've tailored it naturally. So, events I may not go out to is New Year's. So if we have his son on New Year's, I'm staying home with them. We're going to do family stuff. If we, for example, last New Year's, 2 New Years ago, we didn't have his son. So we went to my girlfriend. She had a huge house party. He came. It was great.
Yeah.
This New Year's, we didn't have the son again. However, his buddies were throwing a big bash. And my friends had a big bash. So to be fair, that was the first invite because they planned their party really early. Yeah. My girlfriend hadn't planned hers yet, and my girlfriend ended up planning it, but we had already committed to his friends. And you know what, he was even sincere enough to say like, oh, we're like, are you sure you're cool doing this? And I said, yeah, like this year we're gonna do your buddies. It's closer to our home. It's only fair. Next year, more than likely, depending how the swing works, we may have his son. So next year we might be at home with his son and celebrating with the family. But that's really like,
but you're happy doing it.
100%. It doesn't, we joke about like, when our friends are FOMO, like it doesn't bother me, because when I'm at home with him and the little one, we're always doing something. A lot of my friends who have kids are now friends with him. So if we want to do something, my friends will come over. We'll have a dinner, the kids will play, we're having drinks, we're having fun.
Yeah.
It's no fucking different. No. So, and it's now really enabled me to sort of start touching base and hanging out more with some of those friends that I wasn't seeing a lot. So it's really, really nice that way. So I enjoy it.
Good. And this relationship happened online dating.
Dun, dun, dun,
There we come full circle. Okay, she's engaged, she's very happy, and yes, you met him online.
Yeah, so that story is very interesting. So I was at this gala, which I go to every February with a friend of mine.
You have mimosa mouth.
We were drinking mimosas. Canadian Tire, was that what it was called? Yeah. So we go to this gala. There's a woman there, and this woman is a really good friend of one of my best friends. And this woman was married with children, and her husband had passed away 1 year before mine. And she's a little bit older than me. Her kids are a little bit older. Anyway, really, really sweet lady. And my girlfriend and her husband, who have a cottage where I do, the summer before or after the husband passed, they were always bringing up this woman and her children. And my friend and her husband really, really took this family in and really took in the boys because they were friends with their kids.
Right.
And so I got to meet this woman a little bit more. And then lo and behold, this happens to my husband a year later. I didn't see this woman, and I'm at this gala, and she comes up to me and she says, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about you nonstop. This is the widow. And I said, oh my gosh, how are you? She gives me a hug, and I see she's with a man. And lo and behold, I find out it's her boyfriend. Then I notice a rock on her hand.
Oh wow.
So he had proposed. So she had met him online. It was the first date I believe she went on online, and they had dated for a little bit, and he proposed, and they were getting married. And I was like, holy shit. 1 year. And she asked me what was going on with me, if I had been putting myself out there. Now, this was just before a year anniversary of my husband passing. Now, to give you a bit of backup, my family, and actually my in-laws in particular, were always sort of saying to me, are you going to put yourself out there? Because I was at an awkward age. I was in my late 30s, and we were talking about starting a family. And we were kind of planning on doing it that year he passed. So he passed in April, and our plan was to maybe start trying after the summer.
Right.
And so it was just a crazy time in life, because I was approaching 40, and I kind of wanted to have a child, and it wasn't happening. And I was like, oh my God, like, I'm a widow now. Like, by the time I meet someone and get comfortable, because now I was hearing all these crazy dating stories. So I was sort of in your place where it was like, oh fuck, like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm just going to be a widow. I'm going to be single. I'm never going to have children. I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to be happy. And it was like all these things. So anyway, this woman, she had said, she introduced me to her new guy. They had just got engaged, and she was telling me how they met. And she's like, we went on this website. She's like, he's the first guy I met, the first date. We've been together ever since. And she's like, I encourage you to try this dating site, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no
Was it the same one
way.
that you told me to go on?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
I know. You're like a shit.
You two are just
So here's
lucky.
the crazy story. So we were talking, and she's like, you need to like go on this site. Please do it for me. You need to try it. And I was like, Anyway, couple of my girlfriends were with me, and so the next day I'm hungover as fuck. I drive back home. It's Sunday night, and one of my girlfriends and I are like talking, and she's like, why don't you do it? It should be good. So I'm kind of like on my phone making this thing. We're kind of joking around about it. It was like 9 o'clock at night. I was fucking so hungover. So I'm like, fuck this. I shut down my phone. I go to bed. So, and then my phone's like, ding, ding, ding.
You set it up though.
Yeah, like very basic. Like what? Yeah, like what do you like? Parrots. Like I just fucking put stupid bullshit. Like who knows? Photoshop my ear like all around up to my fucking forehead, and then gave myself orange skin.
Perfect.
Yeah. No. So then anyway, so I had this like app on my phone or wherever the fuck I did, and it's like ding, 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 and I was like, fuck this. I got to go to bed because I had a meeting in the morning. So anyway, next morning I wake up and there's all this shit, and I don't really know how to use it because I haven't been online because I've been fucking married and dating, my late husband for, we were together for a while. So I hadn't done the online thing for a long time. Anyway, I go to this meeting, and then all of a sudden I kid you not, I see all these fucking guys like Larry, Harry, Tim, whatever the fuck their names are. And then this one guy sent me some like thing, and I look, and I was like, oh, this picture's really like actually attractive. It doesn't look like a fucking idiot. So I like clicked on it. Yeah. Send me like a note and or a like or something like that. And then I ended up messaging him after so we kind of went back and forth, and then this was the next morning. So not like, I think I made the profile 9 o'clock at night. This was 11 o'clock in the morning. 11 o'clock in the morning.
So
the next.
Annoying to listen to.
Yes.
Go.
And so, we chatted for like 10 minutes, and then he said, let's just have a phone call. Talked later that night. That was a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday. On Thursday, I actually had a date set up from a guy I met at the gala.
Okay.
Who was a complete fucktard.
So you canceled that.
And then ended up going on a date with this guy, and now we're engaged.
Like, can you believe this? This is ridiculous. I mean, congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
Oh, he fucking pisses me off every day, but it's okay.
God. It's just like, really? And this is what I hear from her. And so, I go on thinking, okay, wow. And then your friend, because you told me the friend story about the gala lady. Then you told me about you. Yeah. And again, I know people, I worked with people that totally had that connection, and it all worked out. But no.
You just got to become a fucking widow. I think that's the secret sauce. That's the secret sauce. Be the woman in black. That's the secret sauce, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my goodness. So, as we move forward, I guess you will continue to hear horror stories from me and happiness and joy as Michele plans her wedding.
La 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 la. We don't have a fucking date yet, so don't worry. That's the most annoying question. We've been engaged now. A year? We'll be together 3 years, so we'll be engaged 2 years. I don't fucking know. Anyway, well, but the thing is we ended up moving out of his house because I moved in with him. We sold his house, and then now we bought a house. We did a big renovation, so that's consumed all our fucking energy and finances. So now we're poor and fucking miserable and want to kill each other. But so yeah, happy ending.
They're gonna set a date. Really, they will.
We will.
They will.
Yeah, maybe for my 50th birthday. We'll see.
Yeah, right now, the only date that I'll be setting is, I don't know, when I get my hair done and, fun weekends with my girlfriend.
You should get that Brazilian bum lift. They look really good.
I don't think so. I don't know. I think we're gonna wrap up death, divorce, and dating. I don't think we say that enough, but that's really what we talk about a lot: death, divorce, and dating.
And swearing.
Yeah, and swearing. So yeah, we're gonna tackle another topic next week. Probably more to do with dating, but also too, we always will share stories. Oh yeah, we have good stories because people let us. Like they let us.
They're just like stories. Here.
Yeah, you can talk about me.
Our lives are not the only crazy, pathetic ones. No. I shouldn't say pathetic because their lives aren't pathetic, but there's some really fucked up shit going on out there, boys and girls.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we'll dive into it as we always do. All right, so if you ever want to share your story with us, we have an email, and it is dx3podcastradio@gmail.com. So we'd love to hear from you, and also too, if you maybe just want some advice from a couple girls that have been through some stuff. We're not really qualified, but it's the school of life.
School of hard knocks.
Exactly.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of your week.
All right.
Okay, let's go make another mimosa.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.